Today we are going to cover Chapter 1 in Physical Education for Class 11, Changing Trends and Career in Physical Education. The two topics we are going to cover, which are meaning and definition of physical education. Second topic, aims and objectives of physical education. As a layman, if we talk about physical education, we generally say a child who goes to the club or goes and play in the park, that is called physical education. But in reality, we say that where a person's physique is involved, he is involved in doing some kind of physical activities, talking about that and learning about all those physical activities, that is called physical education. According to Charles Butcher, physical education is an integral part of the whole education process. So, while we are saying the whole education process, there we are including the education of science, where we talk about the Newton's law, where the uric acid is being produced by the body, where we talk about the oxidation of blood and deoxidation of blood, many of the things and all the systems are being involved into it. If we talk about how come it is related to English, that's a universal language. Without knowing this, we won't be able to explain ourselves into any of the activities. And we talk about the education of accounts, or we may say maths as well. Any of the tournament you are going to organize where the resources of your income or the expenditures are involved, there the maths calculations are also involved. This is how the whole education system requires for the physical education. Now we are clear about the meaning and definition of physical education. We proceed to second topic, aims and objectives of physical education. The aim we talk about of the physical education is only one, which is overall development of an individual. We may say the wholesome development of an individual as well. And to attain that wholesome development, we require to achieve few objectives which are mentioned over here. The mental development, social development, emotional development, spiritual development, as well as the physical development. So first objective is physical development. When we talk about the physical development, we talk about the individual's physical fitness first. An individual who is able to do his routine work without getting fatigued and also possesses extra energy to meet an emergency is called his or her physical fitness. To check about physical fitness of an individual, generally there are 5 components to look after. First component of physical fitness, endurance, means whether a person is able to perform any activity for a longer period of time without getting fatigue is called endurance. Second component of physical fitness is strength. Strength is an ability to work against resistance, where you can carry the weight other than your own weight. The third component of physical fitness is speed. Speed means how fast and how quickly the contraction of muscles takes place on a stimuli. Here, do not get confused with the definitions being mentioned in physics, which is distance upon time. Here we are talking about how speedily the contraction of muscles takes place. The fourth component of physical fitness is flexibility, which is dependent on the mobility of the joints and also the stretchability of the muscles. Now the next component of physical fitness is coordinative ability, where the two kinds of systems are involved, nervous system as well as muscular system. We can combine it and say neuromuscular system. If we are talking about the neuromuscular system, that can be added up as an extra objective or another objective of physical education. When we talk about the coordinative abilities where the two systems are involved, we say for an individual to do any of the activity or responding to any of the stimuli, there two kinds of nerves are involved. One, motor nerves, second, sensory nerves. Let's say as a batsman, I'm ready to face a ball in cricket. The ball is being bowled to me and how I am reacting now. My eyes have seen the ball and through sensory nerves, the message is being transmitted to brain and brain is ready to transmit the message through motor nerves to our body to react. Now, it is related how I am going to play the ball. Is it going to be played as a defensive mode, or I am going to play a drive, or I'll go for a boundary, or I'll go for a single run? That is totally dependent on my reaction or the coordination of neuro and muscular system. When I talk about this, I may also talk about the basketball shot. If I'm going to play basketball and trying to make a basket, there how much strength is supposed to be used by an individual to make a shot? That means the sensory nerves are giving the message to the brain that this much strength is supposed to be applied, which is being improved through a regular practice. And automatically, when you're tuned after doing a lot of practice, that comes in the automatization, how much strength is supposed to be used and from where and from which angle you're going to take a shot. The second objective of physical education is mental development. If we talk about the mental fitness, there we talk about the alertness of your mind, how quick and prompt you are in taking the decision, how quick you are able to distinguish in right or wrong or bad or something good. Let's take an example of an accident which takes place on a road. When a reporter asks from a leader from particular A party, he might answer back in such a way where he's playing a blame game on party B. And if the reporter is asking from party B, he will also will answer in blaming party A. They are not going to take the decisions or they're not going to answers in such a way where the reporter will be able to get the proper answer. But on the other side, if a bureaucrat is being asked from the same situation, then the reporter will get the answer in such a way where the bureaucrat is going to answer with the relevant of the situation, and he might tell you that let us judge the situation and we'll get back to you on the situation later on. Let us understand what has happened. If we talk about similarly into the physical education, how the mind alertness is related to it, then we say this as well. Let's take an example of field, how the mental alertness or the quick decision is related to sports field. Let's take an example of a football player. When he's supposed to pass the ball after receiving, before he is going to pass, he needs to understand that the opponent should not cover his teammate, so that the teammate is supposed to receive the ball and to make a score for the team. If he is quick in taking decision what time to pass the ball to his teammate, that means he's taking a prompt decision. And this is how the regular practice or practicing of the skills makes you clear or makes you sharp and quick in taking the decisions. Let's move to the other objective, which is the third objective, social development. When we talk about the social fitness of an individual, there we talk about, okay, we must have heard that human being is a social animal. Why is being called social animal? Because everyone has to stay in the society and need to be accepted by each other. How do we react? How do we behave? how we are behaving with other individual in the society, that impacts everyone's behavior and attitude in the society. If we take an example, let's say I'm going to visit my friend's place and I tend to get no car parking place. Somehow I'm getting the place to park the car next to the gate of his neighbor. The moment I park the car, the neighbor comes out and screams on me that this is not the place to park the car, kindly remove it. This is how is his reaction or his attitude towards the incident. At the same point of time, when I shift my car to other person's place, there the neighbor is helpful. And he says, sir, just tell me how long you're going to take. On my response that he's going to take 10 minutes, I'm going to take only 10 minutes, he will say, not an issue, sir, you may park your car over here. Now, every individual has a different attitude to the same situation. This is how you react in the society. This is how you react to another person in the society. Now, how it is being related to the physical education. How do we inculcate getting comfortable speaking with others or the teammates or the other people as well? Let's take an example of movie Chak De India. In that particular movie, they had shown how the players from various states, those were the top players of their states, where their attitude and their behavior were not matching with each other. And there the coach had to work so hard to make them realize that they need to work together as a fist to get the real aim to prepare a team to win the tournament. There, working hard on the players and making them realize after practicing a lot together. That means if we practice all together, we tend to deal with the situations along with the players and our teammates, where we handle the situation in different kind of things, in various kind of situations. How do we tackle them together? There he is able to grasp the root cause, and then they worked together and they could able to get the tournament win. That means through the physical education and through the regular doing practice together, that creates that momentum where the brain matches, where the attitude and behavior of each other is acceptable to each other of the teammate. This is how the physical education is actually teaching you how to survive in the society where you respect each other's notions and their principles. Now we proceed to fourth objective, which is emotional objective. Let's talk about the fourth objective of physical education, which is emotional objective. When we talk about the emotional objective, it comes through the relation with the situation. How do we deal or tackle the situation at the time of the extreme joy and at the time of the deep sorrow? In both the situation, how do we handle the situation? How do we handle our emotions in both the ways? That is called your emotional fitness. Let's take an example of a person, of a patient who had been detected coronavirus positive. He committed suicide from Safdarjung Hospital terrace. There he was not able to tackle his emotion and he committed suicide. He lost his life. On the other side, when we talk about the emotional fitness through the physical education, how one is able to tackle the situation through the physical education, or how it is being related, or how it teaches. Now when we take an example of Arunima Sinha, we know her as an international volleyball player. She lost her legs in one accident. Rather, we can say, while she was traveling through a train, few robbers pushed her from the moving train and she lost her legs. Instead of staying at home and being suppressed and depressed in her life, she actually worked hard or toiled hard to achieve something in her life. and she also did it. We know her today as a first amputee who reached to the highest peak of the world, Mount Everest. This is how, through sports, we are able to get the emotional aspect strong in our life. Now we speak about the spiritual objective, which is the fifth objective of physical education. We stay in such a society where the people from different community are there and we respect each other. Similarly, when we talk about the sports field, where a team consists of various kind of religion people all together, they do not only respect each other, but also they are able to relate to celebrate various kinds of festivals which is related to different religions. This is how the sports is actually related to your spiritual balanced life as well. This is how we have covered two topics today: meaning and definition of physical education, and also aims and objective of physical education. Thank you so much.